Because everybody's
It's
got agents working in the background doing
yeah,
stuff.
nobody's actually coding anymore. It's all just AI agents coding shit. Well, I mean,
Which
that's
brings us to the very
Yeah.
important topic of this episode today,
yeah.
AI hacking.
I'm pretty
Oh,
excited. I have some new things that I actually read about this week that I'd like to share, but go ahead, Danny. You
no,
want
no, I have
something
something
to
interesting
say?
to say on this too. I just wanted to mention too, though, about the like having them code for you. Cursor, they send an email out with like their release notes, for the
Yeah,
new update,
I think I
and they
just
even
read that.
said in that they were like, we were using the background agents to code
Yeah.
for Cursor to check for this and do
They're
tests and
like, we're
stuff.
only a team of three, believe it or not.
They're only like 60 people
I
actually,
know,
which
it's
is
a very
nothing
small
if you
team.
think about the amount of revenue they pull in. Like it's insane.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. So yeah, today we're going to talk about AI red teaming and how to basically jailbreak your chat GPT or whatever. And let me just say before we get into this, this is for educational purposes only. Don't do this on your account. A lot of this stuff breaks terms of service, and we're not liable for any damages that you cause to
Yep.
yourself or others or anyone else if you try this stuff. Now, with that,
Don't
I
go
wanted to
spilling
actually,
coffee on your lap and
yeah,
then blaming us for it.
yeah,
exactly, right?
yeah, exactly.
I want to, why is, because I think this is also important for people to understand, like, why is it important to even know what AI red teaming is or understand
Hmm.
this at all? For, because
Well,
like, I'm not a security expert. Why should I care?
well, this is interesting because I had never heard of this
Yeah.
before 2025, before this
Didn't it
year.
just happen
But
like a year ago that
well,
this became a thing?
yeah, so I went to a cybersecurity conference in January, and literally it was a talk of the town. Like every
Mm,
conference was about AI red teaming, and I was like, "What on earth is AI red teaming?" And I looked
yeah.
into it, and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is something cool." Because all of a sudden you can become a hacker, and you don't need to know anything about hacking at all.
Or
Yeah.
coding or anything,
Actually,
really?
Actually, this is really interesting. So, arguably the number one AI hacker in the world, I think he has a history of like neurobiology. So, no background in hacking. He has only been doing it for a year. And then the person who won Hack a Prompt One, which was like the worldwide hacking competition a year or two ago, their background was in psychology. So,
Wow.
both
Yeah.
people who
Oh,
are
that
the
makes sense
like
though.
predominant AI hackers have
Yeah.
no hacking background whatsoever. They more know about psychology.
But they
Yeah.
know about, right? They know how to critically think. They understand. They're probably pretty good with language, I would assume, right?
Hmm.
And like probably like
Bef-
experimenting with things, right? Because if you're like a scientist, that makes sense.
yeah. Before we actually get into it, can you maybe explain, Randall, a little bit of like where the terminology red teaming comes from? Because I think that might
Because
be
it sounds
confusing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
does sound neat.
so it sounds
That's
cool.
it. It
So
just sounds cool.
yeah,
Literally, that's probably why it came up
historically
though.
in the world of cybersecurity, uh, you basically run penetration tests, which
Mm,
for some companies, especially companies that deal with like sensitive information like PII or personal health information, or even who use credit cards, they have to have tests done routinely once or twice a year just to make sure that they're not leaking any critical infrastructure because we all know what happens when something gets leaked. So that's a penetration test. Usually it's a short period of time and it's very noisy on the network environment. So if they have a blue team or a defensive team, they'll usually be able to pick up on what's going on.
yeah.
But when they have longer engagements, so this is more for bigger companies with a lot more to lose, they want to have longer engagements because really the bad actors out there, they're not doing something noisy, they're not doing something in a short period of time. They have a lot of money behind them, they have a lot of time on their side, and
Yeah.
so they just want to sneak their way into your network and stay there forever without you knowing it. And so that's the concept behind red teaming is you build up a team where you're given 6 months or 3 months or a year to kind of work your way into the system and see how much damage you could potentially cause so then you could help protect the system afterwards. And so that's
So
historically what
the
red
goal
teaming
of red
is.
teaming then is to help identify problem areas so that they can fix them,
Yeah.
but not be the
Yeah.
bad actors.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so like there's isn't there like blue team and like purple team as
Okay,
well?
yeah. So there are so uh red teaming would be the offensive side.
Yeah.
Uh blue teaming would be the defensive side. Purple teaming is kind of mixing them both together
It's like
to
when
have a
they
defensive strategy. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but how this applies to AI is that they basically just took the terminology because it sounded cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, because it's not, it's generally it's not these it's closer actually to a bug bounty program,
Mm,
because essentially what a lot of these things are doing, they have these competitions where they just say, hey, here's our challenges, let's see what damage you can do. And
yeah.
that's very similar to a bug bounty program.